We have been having a couple of chats inside the Healthy Moving community, me with people over email and different places about stress. And so I thought I made myself a cup of tea and I thought I'd just come on live real quick to just chat about this with you and about some of the things that I've been sharing, because I think that a lot of us have a framework around stress that if we just make a couple of tweaks to how we're thinking about it, we can have some really powerful shifts, really powerful changes in the way we're approaching it. So I have been ruminating lately on this really powerful quote from Manson. I shared it above the video, but the quote is, "Happiness comes from solving problems." And that really that's what makes us happy in life, when we can solve problems. And the thing about stress is that often it's inhibiting our ability to solve problems. It can kind of make us paralyzed or feel stuck, or that overwhelm that we often get with stress really makes it hard for us to be problem solvers. So that's where stress can be a problem. But not all stress is bad, right? Stress really is, the definition of stress is that it's the imbalance between, or a perceived imbalance between the demands that are placed upon you and your ability to meet them. So you feel like things are too hard right now and you just can't do it, so the demands are higher. But it can be equally stressful to feel like, hey, I'm way overqualified in the demands that are facing me right now. I'm just not being challenged enough. That's equally stressful. But all of that stress, just because there's an imbalance or a perceived imbalance, doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes stress is a good thing, and that's often called eustress or positive stress. And eustress propels us to be problem solvers. In fact, it is the very thing that makes us want to solve problems. We want to solve the problem of that imbalance, and that can lead to happiness. The problem is when stress is distress, or sometimes called toxic stress, where we're not able to solve those problems and where we are kind of held back by it. So how do you stay in the positive stress zone and avoid the negative stress zone? I have two main ideas related to that. The first thing is how you think about stress in general. There's this ancient kind of yoga teaching expression that says, be at ease with your dis-ease. And I've always kind of looked at that as meaning that you can be both. So you can have a state of ease even while you also have a state of dis-ease. So they're using dis-ease there, not like disease, but a non-state of ease. So often we think I can either be stressed or relaxed and calm. But what if you can be both at the same time? And that is the zone of positive stress, where you know there's an imbalance, or you feel like there's an imbalance between the demands placed upon you, but you're calm, you're focused, you know what to do about it, and you are going about solving those problems. So how do you get to that calm and stressed at the same time? And for me, how you are at ease with your dis-ease is that you are accepting of it. You realize that it's normal. And if you can look at your stress and say, this is a positive thing, this is going to propel me to growth, this is going to propel me to solve some problem that either I'm facing personally, or my family is facing, or some problem at work, or some problem that our world is facing. That looking at stress and saying, the fact that I'm feeling this pressure, this demand on me, it's going to propel me to something positive. If you can look at it that way, if you can have that framework, that it's a positive thing, and in fact it might be the very thing that helps you unlock that door to happiness, that happiness comes from solving problems. And if you don't have any problems, it's hard to be happy. But you have to solve those problems. So stress can be positive. The second thing, after you get your framework around stress, that I think helps you stay in the positive stress zone versus the negative stress zone is, we all have them, but we have this kind of coping strategy that when we start to feel and become aware of that imbalance of, oh geez, there's a lot on my to-do list today. I have no idea how I'm going to get it all done. Or I have to have this difficult conversation with someone. Or this thing that's happening in our world is really upsetting to me. When we feel that when that comes into our awareness, we often have a coping strategy so that we don't feel that anymore, to try to numb out from the sensation of that awareness that there is that imbalance. So everybody's coping strategies can be different, but my challenge to you over the next few days is to see what is your coping strategy. When that awareness starts to rise for you and you become aware of there's some hard things that you're facing, whether personally, professionally, or whether you're just aware of what's going on in our world and it feels really challenging for you. When that happens, what's your go-to thing? Do you scroll your Facebook feed? Do you turn on the TV so that you don't have to feel it? Do you mindlessly search the web? Maybe you eat or drink something that's not necessarily healthy for you. Just begin to notice, what is the thing you do to try to numb that sensation? And I just want to encourage you that when you feel yourself doing that, I'm not going to ask you to stop doing that thing, because that's a big ask, okay? Like if your routine is that you do something and you've been doing it for a long time, I'm not going to tell you to completely stop that. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to do something that's self-care related before you do your normal coping strategy, to just try to stay present with the feeling of that imbalance for just a minute and see if you can get into that positive mindset framework. So what's a positive self-care thing you do, or how might this look? Let me just give you a very basic example. If your go-to thing is at the end of the day, you feel extremely stressed and it's really difficult for you to go to sleep, and you feel that stress rising, you feel that imbalance, and you just want to shut down, so your normal go-to thing is you pour a glass of wine. Again, I'm not saying that's bad or that you shouldn't do that or that you can't do that. What I am saying is, before you drink that glass of wine, do one self-care thing. Maybe you pour a glass of water and you just drink the water first, and then you can have your wine. Just do something that's self-care related to take care of you, and see if you can, in that moment, as you're doing that thing, remind yourself, wait a minute, I can be calm and stressed at the same time. I can be both. It's not either or. And that maybe this stress that I'm experiencing is going to propel me to solve problems that bring about a level of happiness for me and for those around me that I wouldn't have if I wasn't in this situation. And then do your thing. If you want a movement related thing to do as your self-care, that's my thing at Healthy Moving, is to give you a little exercises. I really love to get physical in your body. And I have a really quick exercise. You can sign up to have it delivered to your inbox. Just go to healthymoving.com/stress relief. It's not a breathing practice. It's something really physical, but you can do it anywhere, at home, at work, in line at the grocery store. There's several different levels of it that I teach in that video so that you can make it fit for wherever you are or whatever situation you might be in. I hope that this helped you and that you realize you can be both, and that you can stay in that positive stress zone so that you can solve problems that are facing you, because we need you. We need you to be your calm, focused, creative, problem-solving self that I know you are. All right, friends, be well.